In this video, I'm going to be unboxing and assembling this V20 electric bike from Tamobyke. A link to this bike is above and also in the description. I hope that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, so let's get started on the assembly. All right, in this box, I have a bike lock, which attaches to the frame, a full tool kit, pedals, pegs for the rear passenger, and the charger along with the user manual is inside here. So let's get started on the assembly. So on the back here is the inflatable pump for the tires, and also right here are the keys for the battery. I'm going to remove the battery and get this charging while I assemble the rest of the bike. Now that we have the bike completely unpacked, we're going to install the handlebars. We're going to turn this stem around. You're going to use the tools in this kit, or you can use different hex keys that you might have. Now I'm going to start here with a 5mm hex on the top. I'm going to loosen the stem cap up, and I'm going to slide this around so it faces the front. I'm going to line that up and then tighten this down. With the same 5mm hex, you're going to tighten the sides of the stem like this. There's 2 bolts there. And then I'm going to remove the front of the stem cap using a 4mm hex. Before I install the handlebars, I'm going to install these 2 caps, which were located in the tool kit. They simply just pop right on the top of the suspension here. Then I'm going to bring the handlebars up like this. I don't like how the cables are pinched here. So what I'm going to do is take the top of the stem cap off. Hopefully they fix this. In order to route the cables in the front of this, I'm going to loosen the stem cap, loosen the side bolts. You can skip this step if your bike already has the cables routed outside. Set this down, take these spacers off. Take the top of the crown off like you see here. Now route the cables out the front. Set the handlebars over here like this. And then reinstall the top of the crown. Reinstall the spacers. Reinstall the stem cap. Then tighten everything down. Tighten the top of the stem cap. And now I can bring up the handlebars. And you're going to line these little grooves here with the center part of the handlebars like this. And then install front cap. All right, get the handlebars located properly. Line up the little grooves and then tighten the stem cap down. You may have to come back and adjust the handlebar rotation depending on your liking, but for now I'll set it like that. I'm going to remove this silly reflector because I have the headlight down there, and then I can center the screen. All right, now the screen I'm going to come back and adjust and tighten down once I put the front wheel on so that it's at the proper angle. Before I start to install the front tire, it needs some air, so I'm going to go ahead and use the pump to pump up the tires. All right, I got the tires pumped up. Do not overinflate them because you can pop the tube. I like to set them about 17 psi. I'll check that with a psi gauge. And now that tire is ready. All right, to install the front tire, you're going to simply remove the nut and the washer on each side of the wheel. Now this washer has a tab on it, and we'll utilize that to secure it on the frame. So I'm going to remove both sides. You're going to make sure that the brake rotor is on this side. You're going to pull the red clip from the brake caliper on the bike, and then simply lift up the bike. Now it might be beneficial for you to have a friend help you with this, because aligning the brake rotor and the axle to the frame can be a little bit tricky. Not too bad. I'm going to put the kickstand down so I don't have to work too hard. And then simply take this washer with the tab, and you want to put it in the hole on the frame, and then install your nut. Like that, and then you're going to do the same on the other side. You'll use the wrenches and then use that to secure the nut, and then do it on the opposite side too. To install this front fender, you're going to need this socket piece and a 5mm hex and a 4mm hex to loosen the bolts on the frame. I'm going to first start with the one on the fork. Use that socket to hold the bolt as I loosen it. And the 4mm on the side here. And the other side. And now we're going to install the fender. You're going to simply slide it up through the back here. Get this secured. Put the bolt on here. And then just tighten your fasteners finger tight. Get everything secured before you install and tighten the fasteners completely. Okay, now that I got all my fasteners finger tight, I'm going to go ahead and get this aligned. I can either raise the fender up, or I like it nice and tight to the tire. And then I'm going to simply put that socket on the back and tighten this 5mm screw. And then I'm going to move down to the side supports and tighten those down. All right, got the front fender installed. I did locate these end caps in the toolkit. These are for the front fork. I'm going to simply just slide those on each side as a protective, and it looks a lot better than the raw bolts. I'm going to install the pedals. This one is the left pedal, and you can see here the left side, and it tells me which way to thread this. And you're going to thread this counterclockwise. You just thread that on there, and then you can use the wrench to grab the flats, and then simply tighten that down. And then moving over to the other side, this is the right pedal. This one goes on clockwise. Simply thread that on there, and then use the wrench to secure. Using a 5mm hex, I'm going to install these pegs on the rear area here. You're going to simply slide your wrench in here to secure the nut, and then remove the bolt using a 5mm socket. To install the peg, you're going to simply just slide it up here, slide the bolt on, and then secure the nut. Those pegs are nice because they can fold in. I'm going to do the same to the other side. All right, I got the handlebars adjusted to the proper rotation and position that I like. I'm going to connect the screen. This cable, for some reason, was not connected. You're going to simply line up the arrows. Got that connected. I'm going to remove the protector from the screen. I'm also going to do the same thing for the tail light. Remove the plastic. Probably end up removing that reflector. Make sure to inflate the rear tire before riding. The battery is fully charged after being on the charger for a few hours. I'm going to install it in the frame. I'm going to simply slide it in, then slide the battery down to secure it, then lock it onto the frame. Now, in order to turn on this bike, you're going to simply hit the power button, and that's going to turn on the display, and you can see the display here. Now, it's set up in miles, I see already. Now, I'll go through the various settings to make sure that the bike is performing to the optimum speed and performance that I want. If you scan this QR code with your phone, it will download an app, and you can sync the app to the bike, and that way you have some information on there. Now, the various settings, it does have directionals that are in the rear. This is the headlight switch. It has a horn. The plus and minus are for the different pedal assist modes. So I'm going to go up to the highest pedal assist mode. This is the throttle over here. This is a 7-speed transmission that will change the intensity of your pedaling. Now, to get to the advanced settings, you're going to simply hold the plus and minus button for a few seconds simultaneously, and you get P01. P01 is for kilometers or miles per hour. 00 is for kilometers, 01 is for miles per hour. Now, moving up here to P2. P2, you're going to hit the power button to cycle through. P2 is for the factory reset button, if you want to reset to the factory settings. Now, P3 is for the assistance and gears. You can set 0 is 1 through 3 gears, 1 is for 1 through 5 gears. So for P3, I'm going to set this to 5. I want 5 pedal assist modes. And now the P04 is the max speed in kilometers per hour. So I'm going to raise that to the highest that I could possibly go. I'm going to set that to 40 kilometers per hour. Moving on to P5, this is the self-starting. I'm going to leave this at 0. Moving on to P6, this is the drive method. 02 is for both throttle and pedal assist modes. If you want just pure electric, you could set this to 1. And then if you want just power assist, meaning throttle deactivated and it's pedal assist only, then you're going to set that to 0. P7, this is cruise control. 0 is to have cruise control on, 1 is to disable it, and then P08 is to clear the total mileage if you want to clear the odometer and reset it to 0. So that's the advanced setting. I have it set to a max speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Let's see how fast it'll do in miles per hour. Looks like it's topping out at 28 miles an hour or 45 kilometers. It'd be interesting to see what the speed is when a rider is on the bike. So I hope that you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Thanks for watching.